dope. The line from that we just read in the Torah not too long ago. Justice, justice shall you pursue. But it's really good. What beautiful weather. So as soon as Cantor gives the go-ahead.
We good?
Okay, we're good. So we have Bruce Chorus. Oh, we're good? We're all good?
We are just waiting to hear from our little scouts who are trolling all of our social media platforms to just make sure that we are on Voxcast.
Well, one of them might be my mother telling me. Hang on.
And also Facebook and YouTube. Joanne, have you heard from your friends? Huh?
Okay, there's a little bit of a delay. Hang on.
Yeah, there's always a little delay.
According to my mother, the stream hasn't started yet.
Yeah, it took a little while to come
There's
on,
usually
but
a delay.
it's on.
It's on.
See what you don't
it
have
just
to deal with.
This just in. It just started. Thank you, Mom.
All right, without further ado, we have Bruce Chorus to welcome you.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful Shir Shalom Shabbat. It didn't start out that way today. It was chilly earlier. I texted Marcia earlier and I said, I think we'll wear the official sweater vest outfit for Shabbat. But boy, it warmed up. It's a beautiful evening, so it's good to see all of you. We will not be here next Friday night. Well, the rabbi and the cantor will, but they'll be in there because next Friday night, of course, is Erev Shabbat. And our Erev Shabbat service will be live stream only. And then I hope to see many of you Saturday morning, Rosh Hashanah morning, up at the Transit Drive-In as we do our big outdoor service for Rosh Hashanah, a chance to get as many of you together as possible. If you're planning to attend and you have not RSVP'd to Joanne, please do so. We do need an accurate count for that. We have a bunch of stuff coming up over the weekend and next week. I'll be back with all of that for the announcements, including information that you've been waiting to hear about Walk Off Hunger, which is very, very cool. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and enjoy this beautiful, not fall, late summer Shabbat evening. Oh, by the way, Rabbi mentioned his mask. Sue made this one for me. I said, okay, Mark, you're off the board. Sue is on the board now.
I don't know, Sue, I'm getting a little jealous here. Cantor, do you have a mask?
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay, now I know how this game works. It's wonderful, really, to be outside. Those of you also on the stream, if you want to put in that you're here, let us know wherever you are. We love hearing from you. We get people from all over the world that are looking in, and we hope that it's comforting and peaceful. Let's take a moment now to just be. Here, we can feel the sun, the light around us. I don't know what it was like for you, but this was a busy week. We started our school. There was a lot going on, weddings, and we did another test at the drive-in this week, and lots of preparations for the holidays. But let's take everything in. I really want you to think back a week ago, wherever that was. So take a moment just to go all the way back to Saturday night and Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. See if you can pick out one or two things that stand out that you want to take in with you on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. Let's breathe in what we want to hold on to, even just one image, and we can breathe out the rest. And one last reminder as we get started, just respect social distancing, everyone. If you're going to wander around, make sure you have your mask on. And we're going to take care of each other. So, I guess we don't have a bar bat mitzvah, so I get to light the candles. I'm going to go over, and we have candle lighting on page 120. Turn it over to the cantor to light. blessed are you, the candles that light our way into the Shabbat. May they help us find our way to rest and relaxation on this Shabbat before Rosh Hashanah. And we are going to lift our Kiddush cups, page 123, as we sanctify the day of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu mitzvotav v'ratza b'hanu v'shabbat kodsho v'yavo v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maseh b'reishit kihu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidasha im kol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'yavo v'ratzon hinfaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. We are going to welcome Shabbat in officially with L'chad Odi, page 138. We're going to sing the first and ninth verse. And on the last one, we face the doorway of our sanctuary, the entrance to the parking lot. And we bow to the bride and we welcome one another. Look around at one another. I know it's hard to see around the parking lot, wherever you are. Look around and wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. And whenever you're ready, you may be seated. We are going to welcome now the Angels of Shabbat, page 142.
Shalom Aleichem. Oh
can feel those angels of Shabbat just sitting on our shoulders, allowing us to relax, and giving us some massages. We could always use them from those angels. We have beautiful poetry every week. Ganilla and her friend Perry Nicholas send out poems, and I was going to read this one before we get started with the Barfu. When I have fears that I may cease to be, by John Keats. When I have fears that I may cease to be, before my pen has gleaned my teeming brain, before high-piled books and charactery hold like rich garners the full ripened grain, when I behold upon the night-starred face huge cloudy symbols of a high romance, and think that I may never live to trace their shadows with the magic hand of chance. And when I feel, fair creature of an hour, that I shall never look upon thee more, never have relish in the fairy power of unreflecting love than on the shore of the wide world I stand alone and think, to love and fame, to nothingness we sink. Now we don't sink, we rise here, and we're going to rise with the Barfu, page 146. Standing on page 149 at the top, and let's read together in the English that top reading. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Hamari Aravi. The Shema, page 152.
Adonai
ובכל מיותיך היו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לך דמעות בין מימיך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו מה עשיתם את כל מצוותיי הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Let's turn to page 157 at the bottom for a responsive reading. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from the wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered at Sinai. We bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Everyone united. I think that's true messianic vision. Page 158. We are at I think we're ready for our silent prayers, actually. So let's take time right now to rise as you're able. The silent prayer starts on page 164 and goes through 170. Take time. Find your own place of holiness, either seated or standing. And whenever you're ready, if you are standing, just take a seat. Page 178, whenever you're ready.
Shalom Ra, Yisrael Amcha, Tassim Le'olam. Shalom Ra, Yisrael Amcha, Tassim Le'olam.
May God tasim, place peace upon us, a great peace, a shalom rab. You may be seated. I'm very conscious as we sit here together that there are many people among our normal crowd who can't get here because of health concerns. And I'm thinking and sending love to them wherever they are, some of them in the hospital and in rehab facilities, or just unable to make it out here. Sometimes we take it for granted, just being able to do simple things and be present here with one another. So we send lots of love towards them. We're not going to read our list of names out of privacy for the Sheridan Drive crowd out there, but we are going to go around. The prayer will be on page 371. And if you have names that you'd like to say out loud, just raise your hand. So glad to hear. Bruce said that there are people recovering from COVID. Wonderful news. We bring all those names into our hearts as we send our prayers to them and to all of us who are in need. 371.
Of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shevero imotenu mikol havrata. Bless those in need of healing with refuah, shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Complete healing of body and soul. Bruce came over to share with me, and I know Cantor will definitely appreciate this news. If you can look back there, Cantor, right in the back, there's a whole flock. I guess you'll tell me if that's right. A flock of wild turkey. Is that what they're called?
Oh, sweet.
And they came in, Bruce said, right in time to hear the Misha Barak. So we're clearly they're either helping our prayers or maybe there's one among them.
Well, Thanksgiving's around the corner, so we're giving them a Misha Barak.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fly far from here.
Now that it's fall,
I
right?
see them.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know Cantor loves birds. She usually likes smaller ones, I think.
Did you know that the call of the male turkey can be heard from miles and miles, and that his gathering of females is called a harem?
A harem. I did hear that. I never can remember the right words. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm going to take off my mask momentarily. I want to show you something really cool in your prayer book. If you have prayer books here, open up to the Shema, page 152. I'm going to teach you some of the hidden wisdom in our tradition. This one is pretty well known, but I'm going to teach you something that you might not know about it. If you see at the top of page 152 and 153, you have the words of the Shema, and you might notice they have crowns on them. Even if you don't recognize the Hebrew letters, that's okay. You notice that they're actually written out like they were in the Torah, but except it's more like a rainbow shape. And you might notice, although it's a little bit hard to see here, that there's two of the letters that are bigger than others. I don't know if you can tell. One of them is a little bit easier. But if you look at the first word on the right, Shema. Does anyone notice at the, oh, there you go. I knew that was going to happen. Did you notice that the ayin is just a little bit bigger than the other letters? That's the third letter. And if you look at the last word, which is on 153, which is echad, aleph, chet, daled, you will notice that the daled is a little bit bigger. By the way, looking at the chet there, which is the middle letter of echad, it actually, you can see clearly the way the scribe would write it as two zayins. I don't know if you see that there. That's pretty cool. But those are the two letters that are always enlarged in the Torah. In the Torah itself, it's actually much easier to see. You can see that ayin really big when we're in the beginning of Deuteronomy, and you can see the daled really big. Some of you are familiar with what this ayin and daled mean. If you put it together, it's one of the more important words in Hebrew, aid. We have aid in English, but this is aid, which means witness. And the teaching is that we are witnesses to the Shema, to the sacred prayer. When we say it, we are witnesses. So I'm going to teach you a little secret part of knowledge. If you actually look the other direction, the word daled, ayin, also is a word, and that means know. So if people know, then they need to act as a witness. And if they act as a witness, they allow others to know. So I mentioned that on this day, September 11th, where 19 years ago, many of us here in some way witnessed one of the terrible tragedies of our time. I know for Cantor and myself, we actually were both in school. She was in cantorial school. If you don't know this, Cantor and I overlapped. We didn't know each other at the time. We were in different programs, but we were overlapped. I think we were ordained right around the same time. I was 2004. Are you
2003.
Right. So we overlapped for most of our studies, so September 11th we shared that moment being in school. I'll just reflect briefly on mine. When I remember I was calling my sister who lived in New York City to wish her a happy birthday. And she said, oh, there's something going on about the World Trade Center. And found out what it was. Go over to my school. I called my school. I said, is there going to be classes today? And I lived about 45 minutes away. And they said, yeah, come on out. Of course there were no classes. Like many of us, we ended up going home. But we have a couple of reflections. Cantor wrote up a beautiful piece a number of years ago that she's going to share about her own personal reflections. And then I have one from my wife's grandfather that's a beautiful story.
I was on my way to cantorial school, running late, listening to classroom recordings in the car. On that beautiful sunny day, after a turn in the road, I looked straight ahead to see, in absolute shock, the World Trade Towers enveloped in smoke. The magnificent image of the towers was a view of New York City I had treasured daily, Each day they stood on the horizon, so close, so crystal clear. It always felt like I could reach out and just touch them. That morning, 19 years ago, I wondered, was I the only one in America who didn't know yet? After that, for years, I became a somewhat compulsive news junkie, either with radio or TV blasting in the house and in the car constantly, always afraid I would miss again something so monstrous happening in real time, in the now. It took at least an hour to make a small U-turn. I was stuck in a massive traffic jam of trucks and cars being sent back from routes leading to the now closed Lincoln and Holland tunnels. As I somewhat frantically was making my way back, now the view of the towers were in my driver's side mirror. From that small mirror, I watched in disbelief the first tower fall. A small, contracted, distorted image of a tragedy so massive that it still remains beyond our comprehension. Horror and guilt, horrified and frightened beyond description, and, like the rest of America, consumed with guilt for feeling so helpless to make anything about it better.
Just taking it all in. A beautiful reflection. I'm sure it brings back memories for all of you here as well. I'm going to give a reflection that my mother-in-law wrote about her father, Jack Najman. On the morning of September 11th, my father, Jacob Najman, a 91-year-old gentle soul of a man, was on the way to his monthly urology appointment in Lower Manhattan. He folded his Yiddish newspaper into thirds, slipping it into the inside pocket of his blue Eisenhower bomber jacket. Tucked tightly in his grip were 2 bagels and lox sandwiches, lovingly packed in the brown paper bag for his physician, Dr. Gonzalez Lopez. My father was always the first person in line outside of Dr. Lopez's office so he could be examined as soon as the doctor arrived. My father waited for the nurse to let him in at 9:30 a.m. when she would usher him into the examination room. The monthly checkup proceeded predictably. My father handed the doctor his gift of gratitude and left the office. Immersed in his own world, my father was not aware that America had just been attacked. He was anxious to get home to spend the remainder of the day with Rose, his wife of 62 years. The subway was closed. He was confused. He had used this train with complete reliability for the last 60 years. What to do? A man whom he recognized from the doctor's office offered him a ride uptown toward his home. 90 minutes and 25 blocks later, he stumbled into a line waiting for a bus north. It was the only form of transportation available. There were no taxi cabs in sight. After an endless wait at the bus motored another 20 blocks, the driver announced, "Everybody off." People were hysterical. He still could not grasp the gravity of what was occurring. Frantic hours passed. He was now in Harlem, waiting for a 4th bus. Finally jammed inside, crushed by traumatized others, the bus moved forward. Fares had been waived. The bus went as far as Washington Heights in North Manhattan. Again, the passengers were ordered to exit. Unbeknownst to him, this would be the last bus. Hailing a cab was out of the question. My father had not contacted his family all day. By noon, they began to panic. My husband that's my father-in-law, Ira, started contacting all the hospitals in New York. Where was Jack? Would we see him alive again? What was going on in his mind? Was he lying on the street somewhere? Was he buried under the twin ashes, the twin towers? We prayed he was not in harm's way. Didn't the poor man suffer enough, losing almost all of his family in the Holocaust? Had he not his share of extreme trauma? Now it was dark. Where in the world was my 91-year-old father? Evening descended with a somber chill. Fortified with resolve, Jack continued walking across the Little Washington Bridge at 181st Street from Manhattan to the Bronx, a journey of 7 miles. Resting was not an option, not even for the basics of food, water, or bathroom. Automatic pilot came into play. Payphones were plagued with long lines of nervous citizens. At the Najman residence, calls were nonstop from New Hampshire, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Raleigh, New Jersey, Maryland, Michigan, North Carolina, Australia, Ramat Gan, Israel. The patriarch of our family had one purpose in mind. He had to return to his family as soon as possible. My father walked in a trance. He was carrying his Yiddish paper, but never stopped to eat or drink. Along with him, a crowd of silent strangers traversing an unfamiliar bridge, which led him to the northern tip of the Bronx. 4 more miles, including many steep hills, were traversed before he reached his precious Razel Rose. My father arrived in the apartment at 8:30 in the evening, 13 hours after he left. He casually unlocked the door without even ringing the bell in the lobby and quietly entered into his apartment. He was greeted by my mother and Laser, her only surviving sibling from the Holocaust, and who were sitting vigil at the dining room table. They were crying and hugging and screaming all at once at him. Yankala, what happened to you? Where have you been? Good, Gadunk, you are safe. My uncle, pale, trembling, and crying with relief, fainted as my father walked in the door. Now the phone chain was in place, and our mishpacha, our family, all managed to embrace my father through the erratic telephone lines. Everyone breathed a small sigh of relief at his safe return. His first comment after opening the door and sensing his anxiety, big spiel. Why were you worried about me? First, let's call Ashira. It's her birthday. He promptly dialed the numbers and was profusely apologizing for not greeting his youngest grandchild earlier. He was always the first in the family to express birthday wishes. Excuse me, please, Ashirla. I could not get to a phone. We take all of our memories in, and I know Cantor has prepared, and Mike, a beautiful song that's not called the 90s.
No, it's hard to make the segue into something High Holy Day after such a moving sharing. So we could do it at another time.
No, let's do it. I want to hear it. It's the story of Jonah. It's not the 90s. What's it called?
The Ninevites.
The Ninevites. Oh, I switched it over. Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, everybody know who Jonah is? Jonah and the whale? Well, this is a song. It always gets me in the High Holy Day mood because I love hearing. When do we read Jonah? Yom Kippur afternoon? I love hearing the story of Jonah on Yom Kippur. So when I hear this song, it gets me ready for the High Holy Days. It's a blues song. So clap your hands if you want or sing along. 2, 3, 4. Ninevites are really worse than me. God knows and God can see what there is to see. They throw their candy wrappers on the ground. They take things they never owned from the lost and found. The Ninevites are really worse than me. God told me I should warn them to change their ways. Back your hands. I ran away to see, I didn't stop to think or pray. Then came a wind, stormy gale. I jumped overboard, swallowed by the whale. Sat there thinking hard for 3 long days. The whale caught me up when I changed my mind. I went to Nineveh to see what I might find. The things I heard now could be seen. All those Ninevites just actually told them to leave their nasty ways behind. You Ninevites, you're really worse than me. God knows and God can see all there is to see. Oh yeah, you throw your candy wrappers on the ground. You take things you never wanted from the lost and found. You Ninevites, you're really worse than me. Well, the Ninevites said, you're right, we've been doing wrong, and we'll change our ways. Won't you change this song? They stopped using poisons, they grew organic gardens. They asked if they could beg God's pardon, but I'll just keep in my song the way I sing it. Are you Ninevites? You're really worse than me. Clap your hands. God knows and God can see what there is to see. You throw your candy wrappers on the ground. You take things you never had from the lost and found. You Ninevites, you're really worse than me. Well, here's the end. Well, I kind of felt bad. I sat down under a tree, and that's the place where God's voice came to me. Do you really need someone to hate? Anyone can change before it's too late. It's not too late for me to finally see that the Ninevites are really just like me. God knows, God can see all there is to see. We drop our candy wrappers on the ground. We take things we never wanted from the lost and found. The Ninevites are really just, oh, they're just like me. There's a story in there, Rabbi.
Well, I have to say, first of all, I'm so glad we did it, and it's the perfect song for 9/11, actually. I think it's the Ninevites are just like me. Yeah, I think we can relate to that. We're going to rise on page 586 for Aleinu, if you're able.
Rabbi, can I just say
Oh, yeah,
one
sure,
thing?
sure,
That
yeah.
is written by Will Fudeman. His parent, he was bar mitzvahed here, and his parents were longtime members of Beth Am.
Oh my God, that's so cool. What a
So there's a
connection.
Buffalo connection in just about everything I'm learning.
So true. Now she is officially a Buffalonian.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור בנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא Ya Adonai Echad, U'Shemo, U'Shemo, U'Shemo Echad.
You may be seated. We're going to turn to the Mourner's Kaddish on 598. First, our condolences to Cantor, who lost a good friend this week. Oh, is this Gladys or?
Gladys.
Okay, Gladys Grunfeld, who was a Cantor, right? Is that?
Yes, we were in school together.
So Cantor Gladys Grunwald. It's a
It's-
real sad loss.
It's also my father's yahrzeit tonight.
Oh, it's my wife's father's yard site tonight. And we're also remembering Donald Cornell, the father of James Cornell, who died last week, and Sis Snitzer. Many of you knew Snitz, the old Sinai crowd. She was wonderful. There will be a funeral on Sunday, but I don't remember what's public or not, so you have to look at the announcement. We're also remembering Rabbi Larry Moldo and Florence Sand, who died in the last month. And on our yard site list, Max Berger, Jack Bernstein, Solomon Bohovsky, Marcy Berzone, Raymond D. Bluestein, Barbara Brogadier, Isabel Cohan, Shloma Finkel, Sarah K. Foreman, Ida Friedman, Harry Gish, Irving Goldstein, Rose Gottlieb, Joseph Graber, Harold Addison Hawken, Robert Hill, Alfred Hirsch, Morris L. Horwitz, Morris Iskowitz, Betty Jacobson, Milton Jaffe, Saul Cantor, Harriet Carls, Stephen B. Katz, Samuel Kushner, Fruma Lerman, Lilo Liedenfeld, Frank Markowitz, Morris Mesh, Louis Mossmond, Lionel Nosenchuk, Lillian Nussbaum, Sarah Olbert, Henry Padikoff, Bernard Pollock, Irving Proper, Deborah Schiller, Nathan Schneider, Lida Schunk, Sarah Schneiderman, Sam Strauss, Belle Sunshine, Gertrude Sweets, Rose Simons, Florence Taxon, Jacob Ungerleader, Stanley Warsaw, Harriet Chazen, Wexler, and Mordecai Yud. If there's other names you'd like to say. Then all those who would like to recite, whose custom it is to recite the Mourner's Kaddish, again, page 598. Yitgadal, V'yidkadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'yalma, Divrah, Chirtei, V'yamlik, Malchutei, V'chayachon, V'yamachon, V'chayed, Echol Israel, V'agalav, V'zman Kariv, V'yamru Amen, Yehi Shmei Rabbah, V'rach, Li'olam Olmei Amayah, Yitbarak, V'yishtabak, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitraman, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitalev, V'yitalal, Shemei D'Kudashah, B'rechu, Le'olam Min Kol Berchata V'shirata, Tush B'chata V'nechamata, Damiran V'yalma, V'yimru Amen, Yehi Shlomo Rabbah Min Shemaya, V'chayim, Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael, V'yimru Amen, Oseh Shalom B'Ramah, Huya Oseh Shalom, Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael, V'yal Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'yimru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world. And we say, Amen. You may be seated. Zikranam Livracha. We invite up Bruce Chorus for the announcements.
Bruce, when you're finished, I have a couple things to say.
Okay.
Thanks.
Cantor has some things to say. We always make time for that.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. On this very somber anniversary, beautiful, beautiful readings tonight. We all remember where we were that morning. First time I visited my family in Dallas after they moved there, we went to the 6th floor of the book depository, which is of course a museum, and took the tour of it and listened to all the recordings and everything. And there are people here tonight who remember that morning, that day when we heard that President Kennedy was shot. And 9/11 was one of those just generational moments that no one will ever forget. And we should always remember those that we lost that day. So thank you for sharing your memories. And thank you to Rabbi Alex, Cantor Frank, and Mike Frank for this lovely Shir Shalom Shabbat service. What a beautiful evening it turned out to be. and it's so nice to be together like we are here in the parking lot. Next Friday night, we will not be in the parking lot. As I mentioned earlier, the rabbi and the cantor will be inside because next Friday night is Erev Rosh Hashanah. We will be doing a live stream service at 7:30. I'm going to take this off for a second. No one's around.
No, please. It's for you.
It'll be easier
It's
to
for you.
understand me. Thank you.
Sounds much
better. So next Friday night, live stream, 7:30. Next Saturday morning, we have a full day of Rosh Hashanah stuff, beginning with a welcoming thing on Zoom at 9 a.m. The Torah service is at 9:30, which you can watch then or watch later if you prefer. And our morning service will be up at the Transit Drive-In. You've got the full list of all of the services. Again, if you're planning to go to the Transit Drive-In for the morning service, please RSVP to Joanne. It is very important. And if you want to pick up your High Holiday prayer books this evening, Joanne will be taking care of you right after the service. As you leave tonight, you will be greeted or bid farewell by Larry and Gail Kerman. Thank you to you guys for being our farewell greeters this evening. Tomorrow we have Torah study 9 a.m., Shabbat morning service, and virtual Kiddush luncheon at 11. Both of them are via Zoom. The website has the links. Tomorrow night is Slichot. Now the rabbi and the cantor will be doing our Slichot service at 8 o'clock p.m. live stream. Then at 9 o'clock, Rabbi Alex and Rabbi Adam Rosenbaum, the new rabbi over at Temple Besedek, will be doing a discussion, the Torah of COVID, Slichot, the Torah of COVID, via Zoom. The way you've got it is like the Torah of COVID via Zoom. There's a space in there somewhere. The Torah of COVID, that will be done via Zoom. Okay, got it. The website will have the Zoom link on that. It's all in the reading. Dr. Foster is over there, Dr. Unina Foster. She will be resuming meditation moment after the high holidays. Please watch for further details. And of course, anything you need to know about the high holidays is on our website, shirshalombuffalo.org. Just go to the High Holy Days section. Tickets have been mailed out to everyone who is in good standing. You should be getting them soon. If you have any concerns in the coming week, contact Joanne. She will be standing by. Also, if you have any questions about anything that we are doing, ask the cantor, the rabbi, or myself, or Joanne. One note about High Holy Days, break fast. Obviously, we can't gather like we usually do. So after the Nila service on Yom Kippur at about 7:15 p.m., we will be doing a bagel box drive-through. We will be handing them out as you drive through the parking lot. Bagel and cream cheese and beverage, all complimentary. You do need to RSVP to Joanne for that. Speaking of food, Shabbatas. It's back this coming Tuesday, 4 to 7, or until we sell out. Make sure you, where's Paul? There he is, he's waving. Make sure, I'll be seeing you right around 4 o'clock, right, Paul? Okay. And make sure you order in advance if you want to save a little money, and make sure to guarantee that you get a dinner. Thank you to everyone who supports our Shabbatas and who volunteers. As you know, we do not have bingo, and Shabbatas has taken on a really much more significant role in our fundraising efforts, and it has really been very helpful to us. Quick update on the Every Vote, Every Voice project brought to CSS by our Tikkun Olam Committee Social Action Team. More than 70 volunteers taking part. Postcards are being sent to people all over the country who are no longer registered to vote, encouraging them to re-register. This is all part of a national nonpartisan effort launched by the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism. So far, about 25% of the people who have received the postcards from our volunteers have re-registered to vote. If you want to learn more, there's still time to sign up. Deb Cohn is over there. Julia Cohan is over there. They'll be happy to chat with you. I mentioned earlier news coming out about Walk Off Hunger. As you know, we have been part of this event. We founded it 13 years ago. This is the B'nai Mitzvah for a very big mitzvah, which is Walk Off Hunger. There is no better mitzvah than feeding the hungry. So look for an email. It's going to come out over the weekend on Sunday with all of the details. Obviously, we can't do our usual, let's all gather in one place and do a big organized walk. So Walk Off Hunger this year is going to be spread out over a week from October 3rd to October 10th. And there are going to be, you can do things virtually, and we're going to do pop-ups. And people can gather at various locations and do a socially distant walk. And one of the locations for the pop-up is right here in this parking lot, which is where it all began 13 years ago. So you'll have the chance to do it either October 3rd or October 10th, or both if you'd like. And we'll do the original walk route, which is over through the neighborhood. But how cool, Gail, Ralph would be so pleased, wouldn't he, to have that happen. Anyway, so that's really exciting. So look for that email. I'm just so excited that as we try to keep this really, really important event going, that one of the ways we can do it is by going back to the roots and honor the beginning of it, which was right here. So that's really, really special. I know that you've been dropping off food. We appreciate you for doing that. Thank you. Continue to do that whenever you can. Joanne, are we going to have some other dates maybe? Because we're not going to be in the parking lot next Friday. Okay, she'll keep you posted on when you can do that. And if you come to either of the two pop-ups, October 3rd or October 10th, bring your food then. And we'll make arrangements for Feed More Western New York to come and pick it up. So that's very, very exciting. So look for the email. It'll have an opportunity for you to join the Shir Shalom team and take part in Walk Off Hunger. If you need anything at all, contact the cantor, the rabbi, Joanne, or myself. If you have complaints, Joanne. If you're happy, call me. You know the rules. Anyway, I look forward to seeing as many of you as possible on the High Holy Days at the Transit Drive-In. And it certainly is much more appropriate than usual to say a Happy New Year, a healthy New Year, and a safe New Year. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you again for being such an important part of the Shir Shalom family.
Shabbat Shalom. Am I on?
You're on.
Yeah, oh, great. So just yesterday we released a very special video. It was a labor of love by our participants of Shir Runah and our professional choir. Did everybody get to see it in your email, on Facebook, on YouTube? In case you haven't seen it, go through your emails. Wave a flag if you've seen it. Go through your emails. It's yesterday, I think it was the only email that went out from Congregation Shir Shalom. You'll find it there. If you want to go on our YouTube page, our YouTube channel, you'll find it. Or if you want to go on our Facebook page, you'll find it. If you want to go on our website, you'll find it. People are telling me that it gives them the chills. Other people are telling me that tears form. It's a really beautiful thing for our community, and a lot of people worked really hard on it. Don't miss it. It will get you into that High Holy Day spirit. And use it and reuse it and listen to it at your leisure, and when you feel like you need something uplifting. And those who participated in that, I have a little thing for you, a little tchotchke for you that I love. And at the end of the service, just come over and I'll pass you my little gift for you. So thank you. Those who participated in the Hashivenu video.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them here, which is wonderful.
Rabbi, do you have your thing underneath your mask?
Oh, yeah, maybe. No wonder it's muffled. There you go. Oh, much better.
Thank you. And I could give you a little volume if need to be. Okay.
One last announcement, I promise. We're not meeting next week here because we're doing our Rosh Hashanah. The following week, it's going to be streamed indoors, and Dr. Foster, Yonina Foster, is going to be leading. That'll be a 6 o'clock service, but not in the parking lot. We have 2 transit drive services in between, so there'll be plenty of chances to come together. And after that, be on the lookout. We may change times. I don't know. We'll see how we're doing in 3 weeks' time. All right, I think we are ready for Adon Olam, 625.
We'll start with the chorus. You can do this with me. Sing with me. Adon Olam, Hashem Allah, B'terem Kol, Yitzil Nivra, V'yed Nasa, V'chef Sofon, Zahar Me'amet Shemot Nivra, Yalla la 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 la, Yalla la 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 la. Everyone!
Oh, you guys got a workout over there. All right, Andy is here because he is a new Jew. We're so happy. He's going to lift our challah. Take off that challah cover. Let's see it, and you get the challah at the end. Take off the cover. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Mazel tov. We're so happy for him, Charlene. Well, we wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom. Please drive home safely and say hello to the Kermans on the way out. And don't get too cold. We're really glad you're out here, and we'll see you next week on Rosh Hashanah. Oh, and Slichot, hopefully, before.
Shabbat, 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 Shabbat. So sing Yidin Shabbat. Shabbat, so sing, Shabbat, so sing. Shabbat, heute ganze Welt. Shabbat, so sing, Shabbat, so sing. Shabbat, heute ganze Welt. Hi. Ya ba 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 ba. Ya ba 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 ba. Shalom, 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 shalom. Zazayin Yidin shalom. Shalom, zazayin, shalom, zazayin. Shalom, like the ganze Welt. Don't go anywhere. Shalom, zazayin, shalom, zazayin. Shalom, like the ganze Welt.
Yeah, I thought it came out wonderful. Oh my goodness. My mother loves it